Yeah, I hear it's like the highest grossing Malayalam film ever or something like that. Oh, that's good. I mean, here I knew that it was something that people have been waiting for. I had an idea of that, but I didn't know just how much, what that number was or that scale was. It's quite baffling actually. But yeah.
We have Sukant Goel, who acted as Munna in Empuraan. No one will forget that character if you have watched, or if you have at least known about the movie. And Munna is being called out in the Parliament also in the last 24 hours time. So welcome, Sukant.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Of course, we'll come to the character, but how was the response, from the people who have watched in your circles?
So I didn't expect it actually. I didn't think that people would write to me, etc. But a lot of people from Kerala or people from Kerala over the world who've watched it, a lot of them have reached out to me on Instagram and said some very nice things, and it was quite surprising because I thought there are some fantastic actors in the film from the South. Of course, there's Abhimanyu also, who actually is the main antagonist. So I thought I was more like a sideshow to that. Not that I took it less seriously because of that, but yeah, it's been quite fun. I have a few Mallu friends also from college and otherwise who were quite excited that I was part of a film like that. So it's been interesting. It's been good. People have responded. Also, it's very important to me that the set and the unit that I work with, they they feel like uh, I did a good job or I did my best and they're happy with the fact that I was cast. So that's very important to me and I feel I get that sense from them and that's very satisfying.
Your character, the way when I watched the second time, to be precise, the first scene where you are appearing, that's like a normal. You are not revealing much. Your attitude totally changes from the second scene onwards, where you appear. You know the way you walk. So how was that preparation? Was it like Prithvi asking you like this is the way? How was that?
Yes, definitely. I think Prithvi is key to that performance because he gave a very, very clear and very interesting brief about how he imagined the character. And it was so clear that, and this happened one day before we started shooting. He did a Zoom call with me after I'd read the script, and it was a beautiful Zoom call. He was very welcoming, very warm, and I felt very welcomed in an atmosphere which was alien to me, and that itself gave me it's very an actor feels safe, you know. I think that's very important. If an actor feels safe, because an actor is vulnerable, he's always very insecure about what's happening. Am I doing it right? Is the director happy with me? Am I making any sense? So he completely cooled us off. And before the shoot, he gave a very clear brief about Munna, how he imagined what's the violence, how important is his brother to him, etc. And I mean, of course, we didn't talk about how he's going to walk, etc., how he's going to look, but there's menace, there's hatred, and there's a deep love for his brother. And he said, keep these three pillars kind of close to you while you're performing. And he also introduced us to at least all the Hindi speaking actors to what to expect in a Malayalam film, what kind of performance, what kind of acting is he looking for. So again, that gave us an in. Uh, and when we were on shoot, his directions were very precise. He's very precise. In fact, it's almost like you just have to follow him, trust him, and do what he says. Of course, how you're going to do it will be different from how anybody else does it. That's a natural thing. And you won't stop doing your own work, but just following him makes it simple, easy, and almost feels like, oh, it's done. He said, okay. And it's very clear action, cut, okay, take, done. And like, hmm, okay, we just have to follow Prithvi, and I think we are in safe hands. Actually, it was just following the director's very much Prithvi's character, how he imagined it, how he wanted it played, and I tried to surrender to that.
Well describes about it matches to our thoughts about Prithviraj and how a visionary he is, and of course at this point of time he has taken Malayalam films, commercially, a commercial,
Yeah.
entertaining and engaging movie to the world, to this level, a good
Yes.
scale.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Absolutely. And the content is not frivolous, That's the best part. Despite it being commercial, it's very relevant. It's very now. It says a lot of things. So, I mean, I'm happy to be part of that. I'm very happy to be part of that. And he's superb. He's quite amazing. His attitude to his work is like a rock. It's very inspiring. If you can't get inspired by that, I don't think you should be on a film set. He's that good. Yeah.
wonderful. In fact, I heard a bite which you had shared for Empuraan, maybe pre-release, like the character introduction. So in that you were saying like you were watching at the kind of sets.
It's a big set. I've never done a film which is so big in scale. Most of my work has been smaller in scale, so I was really excited to see that, and I saw it. And most of the time on the set, I was sitting and watching these big cranes and these big crowds. And
Because you come from a bigger industry, Bollywood is somewhere like of course you have also seen the other Prithvi, the theater, and the other background of theater. But then on the film, Bollywood is much on a bigger scale. It's huge, and there is money, there is many other things that is provided, facilities. But then you were still excited to be in the sets. So could you please share something?
Yeah. But on the contrary, I'm probably part of a bigger industry, but I've never done a film as big as this in my side of the film industry. This is still the biggest film I've ever done in terms of scale, budget, reach, etc. So, I mean, the only big film I've done actually is maybe Kapoor and Sons, and that wasn't as big as this in any way. It was a much more insular story of a family, etc. But this was big. Things were being burned, things were being blasted. I'm in the middle of, the fire burning, and there are 100 fighters, and there's an action sequence that's spread across the room, and you have to repeat that and repeat that and repeat that and get it precise. And then there are horses, and there are four big cranes with so that they can light the whole arena. I've never seen anything like that.
ये दया दिखाने के लायक ही नहीं होते।
But answer this one question. Who are you really?
So for me, this is the biggest thing, and I was sitting absorbing everything, and it was great fun because he has this editor next to him. Things are happening, to the T. And most of my shoot was in not in Kerala. And so I didn't get a sense of the whole thing, but I would talk to the creative director Nirmal or Vava and some of the editing team, and I saw some of the sequences beforehand of what they'd shot, in the US or Ladakh, and I was like, wow, this is big. I've not seen anything even remotely close to it. So, I mean, for me, this is the biggest. And yeah, there were there were fighters from south, there were fighters from the local place, there were featured artists from all over the place. I mean, it was huge. It was huge. So you just had to. It was quite easy to slip in, actually. Uh, it didn't feel so daunting because it felt like you're part of 100 people, where you are playing one part, everyone's playing one part. Don't feel too self-important about it. just and just have fun. Yeah, yeah. There was one particular sequence where the whole thing had to be on fire. That barn where the whole the initial riot sequence is shot. And there was one shot they had to take of Abhimanyu and me from behind, and the thing is burning. And we were ready with the fire and all of that, and we're standing there, and Prithvi says on the mic, "Okay, guys, stand still for a few seconds. Okay, it's just a few seconds. Okay, fire," and everything lights up, and we stand there, and the heat hits us. The heat. I'd never experienced such kind of heat that came in 1 second. And we couldn't open our eyes. We couldn't keep our eyes open. We couldn't stand still. And they're like, stay still, stay still. And Abhimanyu looks at me. I said, I can't stay still. So we had to run back. And he said, okay, okay, we'll do it again from a safer distance, etc. But yeah, this was new. There's no acting in this.
I also heard that in even though there were fight masters from different places, Prithviraj had a command on what is required, and so could you share that experience if you could?
It was so clear. He knew what action sequences where, which he wants to capture from where. So your DOP is clear, your fight master is clear, your actors are clear about exactly what they have to do. Otherwise, how do you control a set, a scene which has 100 people working together? And he himself is so experienced. I mean, he's done over 100 films. And so sometimes, like me, I had never done action like this before. So a little tip from him, like, you know what, hold the hair from here, and what you need to do is keep your face still, not too much expression on face, and just put it from inside and do it. These little things would come from him, and immediately they work. So uh, little hacks about he understands actors very well because he's been an actor. So when he knows why an actor is stuck when he's stuck, so he's able to quickly tell him a quick hack of how to overcome it. And then it just becomes simple. He knows camera, he knows lighting, he's technically so sound, you can't make a fool of him on set. So I mean, he's Robocop.
So you spoke about that moment when there was a heat that you have never experienced. But were there any other instances that was quite challenging? Like I know that scene where it was you were. I mean, by now people would have watched, so I would say like it won't be a spoiler. But then that blast, I would say in general that blast, where and we also saw that that prosthetic things that were made where your eyes so, which was the most challenging part which you had to?
Standing for 9 hours for that prosthetic was the most challenging part of the entire process. So they do a lower body first, then they do the torso, and then they do the head. And you have to stand still. And there are 4 people working on you. You cannot move because the mold has to be exactly perfect. And there are 3 layers now. So, and these team of artists, Sedu and team, were superb and they were so sweet. They knew that I had to stand and it would be tough. I thought, you have to stand. It's okay. What's the problem? I'll stand. But after 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, it's like your feet, your muscles, your body is not experienced standing like that. And then, they would give me juice or water and they would feed me if my upper body is fixed. If lower body is fixed, I can drink it. So the whole thing took 9.5 hours, not at a stretch. I think we did lower body and upper body and then face. And with the face, at first it's fun, but finally the whole thing gets covered and your nose gets covered and your eyes get covered. And then you're just waiting and your brain is saying other things. Okay, how long are you going to be like this? Can you breathe? Are you going to survive? Are you ever going to come out? How long is this going to take? And my bravado is telling me, no, don't ask, Sukant. You're an actor. You have to take this. But one point I asked them with my head, with the mold on my head, I said, how much more time you think? And they're like, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. And those 15 minutes, I was literally counted backwards. That I watched that blast happen. I wanted to see the mold blast. That was my last day on shoot in that location, and I was completely in prosthetics all day. And I think we did the prosthetics on 2 days. First day we couldn't shoot because it was raining or something. But the whole time I was like almost like I just had my shorts or boxers or whatever, and the whole prosthetic and the whole set is that I'm just roaming around like that with blood and for the 2 days and you know how shoots are, they can get delayed, there are other things to do. So Prithvi would come and say, really sorry about making you wait, we'll quickly do it, etc. But when we are ready to do it, it happens quickly, it happens in time. And it was fun to see the body blast. And those two molds of mine which they had made, they had kept somewhere in the set. And a lot of people came and told me that, bro, we got freaked out because we walked and we see you standing there like almost naked and like, what's going on? Suddenly it's like, I said, yeah, that's how good the mold were. They were very good molds. Yeah, that was the fun part. I mean, I'm sure there was a lot of good things that I saw or experienced, but I mean, it was great having the tiffin every day, which was the Mallu tiffin that comes, and I love that food. And I thought I put on weight over there because the food was just amazing. And yeah, it was a great time to be shooting there.
As an actor, do you think we are committed to to the society? Like in this context, your character is a representative of a certain wing where there
Yes,
is some privileges are being utilized, or So, do you think an actor should have that kind of a commitment to the society? Or
these are tough times uh, for artists, and at the end of the day, it's very difficult to say what is the measure of a man in terms of courage. You know, how much you're ready to stand up for. What is that tipping point where you will say, okay, I give up. Uh, it could be different for different people. And I mean, the theater that we do also has a lot of social relevance. I myself don't think can do a play which doesn't talk about now, today, because otherwise it would seem frivolous to me. I won't be able to give everything. The thing about this film was when I read the script that it aligned with what I thought too, what I what I see, what I experience, and what my opinion is. So it was heartening actually that at least somewhere in some industry somebody can speak this and I can be a part of that because I don't know, in the Hindi film industry it's becoming more and more difficult to really take a stand or put reality out there because nobody seems to be wanting to acknowledge it and see it, or we are scared. And I can understand the fear. I can. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm glad that it was this. I'm proud to be part of this. I have no regrets. Uh, I don't know whether it affects somebody's career or not, but I'm glad that the first film, or if this remains the only Malayalam film I do in my life, it was this. The subject was this, and I played something which I don't like. I don't stand for. I don't personally would never want to be. Uh, and I'm glad that the director wanted to be with the sense of truth that I tried to bring into it, which the writer had put. So I'm I'm happy about that. I'm proud of that. Uh, and what will be will be. I hope. I mean, I hope we can counter subjects. And people can be more open to listening, to seeing what artists really want to say, what they're observing. Nobody wants to be really hostile. Uh, but as long as we can listen to each other, that will be a start. I don't think we are listening to each other right now. I mean, not you and me. I mean, just generally, we're not listening. We want our word to be final. We want to have the last word in everything.
it could be theater or it could be movies, and especially movies because it has more wider reach, because at the
Just
same
the
time you
reach,
can,
yeah.
yeah, so let this get spread and people have a second thought as in what is happening. Let them not take it for granted, and let each of the individuals have their thoughts. So, but I don't want to discuss
Yeah.
this too much.
I just said it. At least we addressed that question and we spoke about it. I think we did that.
So what I was saying is, moreover, we want you in more Malayalam films because I was so impressed by especially after watching it second time yesterday, the way you walk, that attitude, and while you are in car welcoming the CM, So talking about that, how was it working with Tovino? And you might have had the screen space with Mohanlal as well.
No, I didn't. I didn't. But I met Tovino and we bonded immediately. He's such a warm, unassuming guy. He's such a big star, but you don't really realize that. He keeps his team very happy, uh, and it was so easy to bond with him. We would meet in the hotel. Sometimes we worked out together. We would chat. We remained in touch after our shoot. I was shooting for a film with Anurag Kashyap last year in Bombay, and I think Tovino and his team of ARM had come to promote it in Bombay, and they visited our set, and I heard he's here, and I met him, and we hugged so warmly, and we spoke. We are in touch, and I think he was wonderful. He told me a lot of stories about Malayalam cinema, about the idols that he has admired, his journey, which is absolutely fantastic. Um, and I kind of identify with it in a little way because I'm also an engineer and I did a job and I moved in, etc. So Tovino was, I think I bonded the most with him. I spent the most time with him on and around set. With Mr. Mohanlal, no, it was funny. I think he was there only for 3, 4 days during my last days of shoot, and it was I was in the whole prosthetic and blood, and it was my last day, and I was just standing in the veranda. I think I was sipping on some coffee or something. I was completely nobody could recognize me, and I saw him on the terrace upstairs, and he was walking in the evening, doing a walk in his shorts and t-shirt, and I happened to look up, and he happened to look down, and our eyes met. He didn't know me, of course. We hadn't been introduced. So I looked up and he looked down and I did a hello sir silently and he did a wave back and he started walking again. And that was it. But we met at the trailer launch recently and Prithvi introduced me very briefly. I had very little time that day. I had to run, I had a show. But yeah, what a privilege. I heard so much about him from Tovino, about Mr. Mohanlal, his work ethic, etc. I mean, of course, we've all seen it. We're all admirers, and most of the Malu friends of mine are happy that I was actually in a film in which Mohanlal is there. They're more happy about that. So like, dude, you're with Lalita, and I was like, yeah. I mean, imagine that. Okay, yeah, it's yeah. I mean, it's luck. It's luck, and thanks to Prithvi.
I know you would have definitely observed, say, like in Malayalam films, say, like, take Mohanlal for example. He's a spontaneous, natural actor. That's what people say, and that's what we experience basically. I heard from Mohanlal only in some of the interviews, like Prithvi was very like what you said, very particular about what is expected, and it was easy to follow his instructions or just follow that.
Yeah.
How did you relate to the kind of acting methods in Malayalam film, especially Mohanlal and others?
I didn't see him perform. Uh, I did not see him shoot, so I don't have any first-hand experience of it. But whatever I heard from Tovino was that even today he calls the director, addresses the director as sir, no matter what experience or age, and is very keen to follow precisely what the director is asking him to do.
ഹിന്ദുക്കൾക്ക് ഇവൻ മഹിരാവണ്, ഇസ്ലാമിൽ അവൻ ഇബലീസ്, ക്രിസ്ത്യാനികൾക്കിടയിൽ അവൻ ഒരു പേരേ ഉള്ളൂ, ലൂസിഫർ.
Abram, Qureshi, Abram.
So in that sense, he's very collaborative and does not carry his stardom or his weight or his knowledge on set because I guess he understands or believes that it is the filmmaker's medium. And actor must follow, of course, with their own brain and skill set, which he has now so much and experience. But it seems like he's able to make himself zero even today and then perform. Uh, that if that quality is alive in an actor, for 50 years, then I think that's the most amazing part. That makes you great. I don't think what makes you great is the numbers you have pulled off, the number of fans you have, number of films you've done. I think what makes you great is that you can keep doing it for 50 years and arrive on set thinking you are zero and ready to receive, be an empty bucket, fill me with water and, fill me how you like. That is greatness. And if Mohanlal and Mammootty are able to do this for 50, 60 years, I don't see any reason why some of us can't, follow on that path because it would be ridiculous to not learn from that. Um, and I guess Tovino and the younger bunch of actors in Malayalam cinema really do respect them. I always hear of them with a lot of respect, almost as a legacy, as something they need to follow, which is incredible. Um, and they've given performances. It's not like they're just, you know, all about style and panache and bravado. They've given fantastic performances. So it's a great legacy to have, and it's wonderful that they're still working. In fact, I think some of my friends were talking, and I was saying that I am a very lazy actor. I would very happily not work ever at all. But I think people like Mohanlal, Amitabh Bachchan, Mammootty, I don't think these people can go without a day of shoot in their lives. I think they will not be able to sleep if they haven't shot in a day. I'm I'm very lazy in that sense. Once I'm in, but otherwise I'm more like I'm immovable. So, but thinking about them can inspire, you know. But you still have to be you.
When watching the movie, were there any goosebump moments? Because we who are not part of the movie also had many goosebump moments watching it. So while you are part of the movie, did you have any?
I'm going to tell you a very embarrassing bit of information. I have not been able to see the movie yet. I'm going to watch it on the 9th with my friends. I was in Bangalore for my shows. We had thought we'll watch there, but we just could, there was no time because this is a play I have directed, so I have to take care of the team and travel. And there's Bangalore, and tomorrow early morning we're going to Pune, so there were rehearsals and packing and all happening right now. My name is Sukant, and we run a theatre company called Three Parts Company. So after I come back from Pune on the 9th, we've booked our tickets and we're going to watch together. And I had said that I don't want to watch the Hindi dub. I want to watch the Malayalam version because I don't want to hear everyone speaking in Hindi in different actors' voices. I'm happy to follow subtitles, and our parts are in Hindi anyway, so I don't think they will dub them. I mean, I don't know, but I don't want to watch it in Hindi. I want to watch it in Malayalam because that's how I watch Malayalam films with subtitles, and because they have such good voices, the actors, and when that language is spoken, there is a beauty, there's a sound, there's a music in that. Uh, I prefer to watch it in the original language. So on the 9th, I haven't seen it. All I've seen is the scenes that I dubbed for. So I'm embarrassed, but I'm still excited. I haven't seen it.
പണ്ടെപ്പോഴോ കേരള രാഷ്ട്രീയത്തിൽ വെറും ഒരു MLA മാത്രമായിരുന്നു ഒരാൾ.
But I really wanted to see the jungle fight sequence being shot. I had told Nirmal that I wish I can come to Kerala and see that because that should be incredible. I couldn't go, but I'm really excited to see that sequence as a follow-up to the first part sequence, which I loved. So yeah, I would love to see that.
Definitely, it has come out really well. I should not say this, but
Mm.
when you watch it, because so
Come back. Save your land. Save God's own country.
I don't want to say like what's the learning from this experience or something, but then when you are going back to theater or any other movie, you'll be carrying something from this experience. So maybe with that, we can conclude the conversation.
It's been wonderful. Thank you so much for indulging me and appreciating me and talking to me. It's very, very heartwarming. And Empuraan was a great experience. Like you said, I will carry this forward. I will keep it in me. And next time I'm on a big film set, I won't be. I will know my way around. And but also it needs a leader like Prithvi. You have to be lucky to land in the hands of a director who knows what he or she is doing. That brings out performance. That brings out safety and a sense of general camaraderie and ownership of the film. So that really you have to be lucky that you get a director, a leader who's really passionate about what they're doing and makes you feel safe. So I have become a great admirer of Prithvi after this. A great admirer.
जाहिद जाहिद मसूद
And I will do anything that he asks me to do whenever. No questions asked.
Thank you so much for this wonderful, short but interesting conversation with you. I know we have a lot more to talk about, but then I don't want to make it too long, for the audience. But then
Yeah,
I'll definitely connect with you, whenever you are, because we did not talk much about the theater, which I would love to listen from you, because that experience is, it's unmatchable. So thank
yeah,
you so much for
yeah.
this opportunity.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
This deal is with the devil.
बस एक इशारा भाईजान, बस एक इंतजार रहेगा.